Today I'm going to show you guys how to make black bean taquitos. And these aren't just any regular taquitos, this is a much healthier version of taquitos. So normally when you would eat something like this, it's fried, but today we're going to bake it. And we're going to use one of my favorite ingredients, which is macadamia nut oil. So macadamia nut oil is a great oil to have in your kitchen. It's healthy and it has a really buttery taste. Olive oil is great and I use it all the time, but olive oil has a medium flash point, so you only want to use it to saute. When you're cooking something at a higher temperature, something like mac nut oil with a higher flash point is much better to use. Let me roadmap this out for you guys. First, we're going to make my favorite poblano black beans. And I actually make these about once a week and eat it just for lunch, just the beans. But today I'm going to roll them into taquitos for you. I also have some sprouted corn tortillas here. So sprouted corn's a little bit easier to digest, and whenever you buy corn tortillas or tortilla chips, make sure you go for organic. This is one place where you actually do want to go organic because most of the corn in the US, more than 90% is genetically modified. So we'll make our poblano black beans, then we'll heat up our tortillas. We'll use a little bit of mac nut oil to make them soft, roll them up, and then bake them in the oven. So let's preheat the oven to 400 degrees and get going on our black beans. We'll start by heating about a tablespoon of macadamia nut oil over medium heat. Let's add 1/2 of a chopped red onion, 1 whole poblano pepper chopped. We'll let the onion and the pepper cook for a few minutes, and then we'll turn the heat down a little bit and add the garlic. Garlic burns really easily, so you want to turn the heat down just a little bit to let it get soft. We'll add a big pinch of salt and a sprinkle of black pepper and let these cook together for about 5 minutes. It's time to add our spices. And I like to add the spices before we put the beans in so that they toast a little bit. We'll add 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of medium chili powder. If you like mild chili powder, you can use mild. I just like a little bit of heat. And 1/2 teaspoon of Mexican oregano. Mexican oregano is different than regular oregano, so if you use it, make sure that you're buying the Mexican oregano. Let's add our black beans, and we'll add about 1 cup of water and let this simmer away for about 15 minutes. I have my black beans here, and I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of chopped cilantro. Cilantro adds great flavor, but it's also adding some of your greens for the day. So I'll just stir this in. And like I said before, you guys, I eat the black beans just like this at least once a week. But for the taquitos, I'm going to use a potato masher and just mash them up a little bit so they're a really good texture inside of our taquitos. All right, let's just give this a quick stir, and this is ready to go. I also have my warmed tortillas here. So I brushed both sides with macadamia nut oil and just heated them up in my cast iron pan so they're easy to work with. Because we brushed the oil on, we're using a lot less as if we would deep fry them. We'll just grab one of our tortillas, see how it's nice and soft. So you want to work with them right after you heat them up as well because they will get hard again on you, so work with them right after you heat them up. So we'll just take a tablespoon and do about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons. It depends on the size of your tortillas. Don't overstuff them because they'll break. But for these tortillas, I'll do about 1.5 tablespoons. And then just roll them up. Perfect, just like that. I have a baking sheet here with some parchment paper on it. So put it seam side down. I'll get all of these done and we'll get them in the oven. My taquitos are ready to go in the oven, and I'll save the rest of my black bean mixture for lunch later on in the week. As a health coach, I really like to teach people, when you're making something healthy, always cook double so you have something for another meal later on in the week. Let's get these in the oven at 400 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're nice and crispy, and we'll be ready to eat them. While my taquitos are in the oven, I'm going to make a really quick and easy guacamole and show you how I make my vegan queso dip. But first, let's do the guacamole. So I'll start by adding 1 garlic clove that I've already opened. Just mash it up really well with a heavy pinch of sea salt. And I'll add 2 tablespoons of chopped red onion. Now I'll add the juice of 1/2 lime. Now for the avocados. I'm going to use 2 avocados here. Let me show you how to know if an avocado is ripe. Just find the stem, and you want the stem still attached. And then you just pull it back. You can just pull this little stem off. And if it's nice and green, you have a ripe avocado. To cut our avocados, just go straight down the middle of the pit, and twist it open. And you have a perfectly ripe avocado because we checked it. So for this, I'm just going to take my knife and score it. And then turn it around and score it the other side. And just take a spoon and scoop it out. Perfect. All of my ingredients are in. Let's get this mashed up and we'll have some beautiful, simple guacamole. Now I'm going to show you something I'm really excited about. This is like a vegan style queso dip. So even if you're not vegan, you're still going to love this. I showed you guys how to make this vegan cheese sauce in another episode, so make sure you watch that to learn how to make it. It's essentially cashew cream, roasted cauliflower, garlic and shallots that are sauteed with some olive oil and some salt. It's absolutely delicious and it's excellent as a cheese sauce. So I'm just going to mix some salsa with it. I use about a 3-to-1 ratio of salsa to cheese, and you won't even be able to tell that this is not real cheese. It's so good. So just mix this up. For me, I try to eat mostly dairy-free because it really affects my skin, but cheese is something that I really miss. So when I discovered that I could mix this with salsa, I was so excited because it really does taste just like queso. So now that's ready. Let's just grab our taquitos out of the oven and we'll be set to go. And our taquitos turned out perfectly. See, they look just like regular taquitos, but these were baked instead of fried. So they do need to cool just for a minute, and then we'll cut into one and try it with our dipping sauces. So I'll just get them on the plate for you guys. And I can't wait to try one of these because they smell so good. And my queso dip looks delicious. So here we go with that. And this one's for me. You cut into it. You can hear how crispy it is. Ah, perfect. See? A much, much healthier version of taquitos. And it's the moment of truth time to taste. Let me do a little bit of guacamole. I won't do too much because you guys have to watch me here. And a little bit of my favorite queso sauce. Perfect. This is the perfect bite. Here we go. So delicious. Better than any restaurant taquito I've ever had. Now that it's all over my face, if you guys want more recipes like these, head on over to my blog at elizabethwriter.com and get on my email list. I'll see you guys next time.